Well, ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. It is another edition to Serving It Up with Jonathan on the Las Cruces Channel. I bless God, and I've got some power-packed information for you tonight. We're not going to ramble. We're just going to get right into it. You know who we got with us already. You've seen the Facebook promo. All right, blessings to you. Who do I have with me? Talk to me, baby. Talk to me.
You got the founder and CEO of I Am a Testimony Clothing and Apparel, John McClung.
Yes, sir. Who do we have also? Come on, talk to us, man.
My name is Paul Johnson. I'm a retired disabled veteran.
All right, all right. So we got three different gentlemen, men of three different types of culture. We've been raised in different places, in different areas, and we're going to hit you with some information, and I am totally excited about what's going to happen on this show tonight. So we're going to start with none other than, all right, Mr. Paul, we're talking about a few things, and the first thing that we want to talk about is faith. Man, where are you at in faith?
Faith with me, I really believe that faith is by hearing and not by sight. And that's my new model that I'm taking in for 2016. I'm beginning to see things in a whole different atmosphere of what I'm dealing with. That's the only way that I've been surviving.
Copy that, copy that.
So I'm continuing to do it. God has been blessing me this year. He's just telling me this is my year, and I won't let no one or anything take me from that. All right. As long as I keep my eyes on him, he's going to continue to keep blessing me.
All right, man, that's awesome. All right, John, talk to us, man.
Well, from a spiritual aspect of it, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I think you have to look at, can you take the first step on the staircase not knowing how many steps are left?
Ooh, watch out now, watch out now.
So I believe that when you are an individual that has faith, you are an individual that understands that you've already seen what you want to have happen in your life, and you got to believe it and make it come to pass.
Copy that. You know what? It's amazing that you took it into that avenue, man, because I want to bring something to light here. Mm-hmm. Galatians chapter, I believe it's 5, around the 22nd verse. You know, Galatians 5:19 starts us with the fruits of the spirits.
Correct.
Right? Where it's dealing with, the evilness. And 22 of Galatians 5 tells us about the fruit of the Spirit. Now, in reading that, when you say faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen, the Holy Spirit led me to this scripture. And he said, listen, I want you to listen to what these things are telling you. The first thing comes out is love. And I believe some of that substance is initiated from love. Mm-hmm. What do you think about that?
Well, I think, and I'll sneak in this one.
Yeah.
Just from an insight, I think your love and charity, which is both words, is really the key to so many things. If you look at that foundation, and even in the scripture, everything comes back around to love. Loving your brother, love one another. Yes. It don't really say any other specific word to do in a group setting or an individual setting from that standpoint. But love is the foundation and the base of that. Wow.
You got anything you want to share with that? Because I got something else with that.
It's definitely involving love because it's about especially forgiving.
Wow. I love that. Oh, come on, man. Give it to us.
The most thing that I've learned is learning how to forgive your brother. You can't sit here and say you love God, but yet hate your
All right. I'm brother, hearing you. I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Once again, faith and salvation to me is very powerful, and you're going to have to learn how to forgive. It's not for them to give them the glory, it's for yourself.
Exactly.
And set yourself free so you can let yourself go and move on with your life.
I know that's
If
right.
they choose to hold that within you, then they can take that to the grave, and that's on them.
Wow.
But the only thing they're doing is harming themselves.
Right.
Because you can't say you love Christ but hate your brother.
Right, right. Well, if the scriptures are correct, they said, "For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son." Now, there's a lot of speculation that certain aspects of the Bible, of course, things have been taken out and things have been put in. But the true attribute of this is that we pay attention to the action of love. Love was a sacrifice.
Very much so.
And that's where I believe that's where we're lost at, because we can't find a reason through this flesh to commit to a sacrifice. Huh? What do you think about that, man?
Well, I think you have to look at the difference in sacrifices.
Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
Because if you look at the Old Testament sacrifices, you're looking at animal sacrifice. You're looking at
you
fruits
go
and
there,
stuff.
man.
Okay, so look at what are individuals in this day and time willing to sacrifice. Because you think about when you look at the question that Christ asked the young man.
Yeah.
How much have you given up? Well, I've given up and I've done all these things. But when he asked the real question, are you willing to give up everything that is personal to you,
Talk to me, John.
all the things of the world? Then his whole demeanor changed, his whole attitude changed, because he knew that he could not give up those things from a standpoint of sacrificing what he had physically. So, I think when individuals look at what are we really willing to sacrifice in our personal lives, are you going to sacrifice giving up negativity, words, or your family, whatever it may be that is pushing you in an opposite way.
Exactly.
Those are the things that you have to look at now from a sacrifice.
Wow. So mentioning sacrifice, it takes me to this thought. Now, if I'm going to take time to dig a hole, you talked about farming. Yeah, and I want you to bring that point out, because I can't bring it out like you brought it out. Bring that point out, man.
There's a difference between a hunter and a farmer.
Yes.
And it also is in reference or relevance to your personality. An individual who is going to build a business, as we talked of earlier, or going to impact people's lives, he's got to be a farmer.
Yes.
Why? He got to toil the soil. He got to plant the seed. He got to look at the crops in there. I mean, he's the overseer.
Right.
Versus a hunter. He's just going to come on the land for a moment.
Wow.
He's only going to impact for specific times because he's hunting a specific thing, and then he's going to go his own way.
Wow.
A farmer can't hunt a specific thing.
Yes.
He's going to have to grow the crops. He's got to grow the crops.
Cultivate.
He's got to grow the crops.
Yes.
And then you and me and you, Paul, we get a chance to benefit from the crop.
That's right.
So that's the difference between someone who is going to be a farmer in their life, or they're going to be a hunter in their life.
Wow. So that brings me to this next point. Excuse me. Let me clear my throat. That brings me to this point. Dude, we have to understand that there is such a thing as a host that produces parasites. And I believe that if you find the host, you can surely effectively get rid of the parasites.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So let's take this to a different avenue, but trucking on the same road. Okay, what can be considered some host?
You want to answer that, or you want me to answer that?
I'll let you go.
Yeah, come on, talk to me, man.
But look at the parallel that you're using now.
Yeah.
If you're talking about a host, that's what we can be.
Yes.
Okay, so if we are, let's take an individual as the host, and if you look at the parasite, you're looking at everything that is attacking that host in a negative way. And if you have an individual who doesn't have a positive mindset, and we talked about that, then it's going to affect the full body.
Right.
But if you also understand that there are ways to get rid of the host, I mean, not host, excuse me, but the parasites.
Yes.
Where the parasites is positive words, reinforcement, all
Talk
the things
me,
that
man.
being able to understand that you can do more, have more, be a dreamer, whatever it may be.
Right.
Those things begin to fade off of the, as far as the parasites begin to fall off.
Right.
Because again, your host begins to change the way it thinks.
Right.
So that's how you have to look at it right now.
So now I'm talking of, now you've led me to the word injection. Come on, man. Talk to me, man. Listen here. There's so many people. Come on. I can't help it.
Wow.
This is fuel to me. Because when I've been injected with many things. I was 7 years old. I was raped.
Okay.
Right? I can talk about it because I'm healed from it. That doesn't bother me. Right? But I look at the infection of the injection. The infection of the injection was to cause me to become a host to create more parasites. Hello. There's the negative aspect about this. You know, we got the yin and we got the yang.
Absolutely.
Paul, you had something that you want to say. Talk to me, man.
No, I was just saying, based on what he was saying, and based on what I was going through, our history is like our parasite.
Yes.
We let our history stop us from reaching our destiny.
Talk about this injection, man. Talk about it. It's an infection.
And it's just so much negativity that we say upon ourselves, because the word always says what you believe in your mouth, you know, what you say come out your mouth and you believe in your heart, so shall you have it.
Right.
And so we so used to our generation where we came from, how everything used to have, oh, my mom this and my mom all this, and you start blaming yourself because every time you figure you're trying to get yourself moving and you fall down, you can't seem to understand why you're falling down.
Right.
And so you let your history pull you down.
Right.
And it's like a parasite. It eats you up.
Right.
Because that's what you're so used to hearing.
Right.
But when you finally say you're going to let it go and you start getting the word and you start to believing, God is going to lead you the right way.
Right.
And you're going to start seeing things that you used to do. You're going to start letting people go because you're going to know that negativity is not for you. So you're going to have to revamp your environment.
Redirect.
Yeah, redirect your environment. You're going to have to start hanging around people to increase you.
Yeah.
And if they're not there to increase you, then they're not for you, because God is trying to take you on this level.
Yeah.
But yet and still you letting your history saying, hey, you don't belong there. When God say, I'll put you in this world that you may have life more abundantly.
Now you go into the children of Israel. Okay, because the children of Israel were freed from Pharaoh.
Yeah.
Right? And here we are in the desert that took a said 3-day journey that we took 40 years to get to. Come on, that's sad. That we got people in our lives who were injected in us, whether God inspired it or Satan inspired it. Hello. Or the third party, which is yourself.
Right.
Because I believe that we have two mantelpieces to pick from. God has his mantelpiece. Yahweh has his mantelpiece. I'm saying, just saying, for those who believe in Yahweh or God. However, he says he knows because of the intimate level of who you are, of who you're saying you sit with. Right. So he's got a mantelpiece and Satan's got a mantelpiece. But it's our choice whose mantelpiece we sit on.
True.
So let's go right there. Let's go right there. Where do we choose to sit, man?
You know, it's interesting because we have the ability, from what you just said, and it's been given from the beginning, to choose. That was one of the things that was instilled in us, to be able to choose good versus evil.
Right.
You know, good and bad,
right.
You know, right and wrong. So, you know, it's not that, you know, from a mantle standpoint, I think the third piece that you spoke of was our own mantle.
Yes.
Because we try to choose to do our own thing. So we like in the middle, and we can get confused based on the fact that some people don't want to go to the left and choose a spiritual aspect.
Right.
They don't want to go to the right because they don't know what the evil aspect is, because that's even fearful too. So they try to stay in the middle, lukewarm. You know? So how do you get that balance, you know, from a standpoint? But those who make the choices, or the choice that, well, I'm going to go this way spiritually, then their life is a totally different change.
Right.
And, you know, in the same aspect the other way. If you go the other way, your life is going to be totally different.
So now you taking my mind to, okay, I have a responsibility based off of what I feel has inspired me. Right? Because see, I can be inspired to be a bank robber, or I can be inspired to be a bank teller.
True enough.
Right? I either take or I give. Right?
That's that good and bad.
That's a good and bad.
That's a good and bad. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's that good and bad. So, you know, we got what we have to deal with in that area, because some of us, especially us who are in power and in authority and have that classification, I hand out my card, everybody can see my card. Dude, you can't be a greedy dog. And we got a lot of greedy dogs. They want this and they want that, but they don't want the responsibility to really wholesomely clean up, you know, to give up these things, to say, hey, I mean, it's like if my hand is always closed, I can't receive, and I also can't give.
That's
okay?
True.
So listen here, man. We got about maybe less in a couple of seconds. Man, tell us something good, John. Talk to me, man.
Well, listen, first of all, again, let me say thank you for this platform.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's a privilege to be able to come and be able to share, inspire, and motivate individuals.
Copy that.
And be able to have the camaraderie, amongst men as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got to take the break. I am so excited. I want you to join us on the second half of this show. All right. God bless you. We'll see you soon on Serving It Up.
If you're looking for a new pet that you can cherish every day, consider adopting from a shelter. Shelters are full of healthy, loyal, fun, loving pets, eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet, so bring home your new buddy today. To find out more, you can visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Burke, and I have a confession to make. I have a serious crush on my workout. Hip, fun, and always a challenge. Jazzercise is the total package. It's the only workout that I've ever truly loved. Does it show? That's because I'm in the best shape of my life. What a difference Jazzercise makes. When's the last time your workout swept you off your feet? Find a class near you at jazzercise.com.
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here. I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog.
Hey, don't touch that dial, because you're watching the only independent TV station here in Las Cruces, the Las Cruces Channel. Keep watching.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And it is the second half of what we're talking about. What are we talking about right now? We're getting ready to go into how do you see? I want to know, what do you see after you have seen something, and do you comprehend it? What about you, John? What do you think?
Well, listen, when you look at, I guess you want to use the word vision.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to use that word.
If you look at an individual that has a vision, in the Bible, the word vision is only used 79 times.
Wow.
And in most of that, it's in one particular book, but it actually it talks over as far as that vision.
Yes.
Not specific to the individuals. There's only certain individuals that actually had a vision. Now, I always talk about either Noah or Moses.
Yes.
I like Noah because of the length of time he had to deal with his vision, 120 years,
wow,
and all the things that go into place. So when an individual has a vision, they usually see it in advance.
Yes.
So you have to understand there's 6 principles of a vision.
Yeah.
The first is you understand that you're the vessel for the vision.
Wow.
Because you're chosen for whatever vision you've been given.
I love it, man.
And then the second thing is, whatever that vision is, you're going to invest in that vision.
Yes.
So you have to understand that. Think about Noah, the investment
yes,
that he had to go through in reference to building the ark.
Yes.
The third thing is sacrifices. Imagine the sacrifices of having people talk about you. The first time it's ever rained, and people don't know what the rain is.
Right, right.
So
because at that time, I don't think they knew
what
it
was. Yeah, and the length of time you have to wait. So there was a sacrifice to be able to talk about that and be building an ark and people, looking at you. The next thing is you have to look at, is your vision going to inspire people?
Yes.
Well, if you look, and again, I always like to use the story of Noah. His particular vision inspires, because we still talk about it today.
Yes.
Because there ain't nobody else that built an ark.
Right.
In reference to that particular vision. And then you look at, the next part of the vision is the opportunities. You know, when you have a vision, the opportunities come to you.
Right.
You know, you were talking earlier, you know, you saw some specific things and then all of a sudden the opportunities come, but you have to be ready, you know, in reference to your vision because it's prepared for you. And then lastly, you have to understand that your vision is necessary.
Wow.
So think about it. There's nobody else who's built an ark.
Right.
The ark that was built
Man, you good
was
at this,
necessary.
man.
You know, if that ark was not built, if it wasn't, and Noah was not necessarily the person and the vessel to build it, then what would we be talking about today? A world that never you know, pretty much existed. You know what I'm saying? So when you are an individual that has a vision, you have to understand that you're the vessel and you're necessary, and then everything in between that is the part of your vision.
Wow.
And there isn't nobody else for it but you.
Wow. You know, man, this is what I see. I see the what do they call that when you go take a boat trip?
Excursion or which one?
Yeah. Well, when you go out, okay, we got tankers out there that hold a bunch of tankers. We got those who have the Carnival cruise. That's what I'm talking about. The Carnival cruise.
Okay.
We got the man who tried to inspire himself and build the what do they call it? The biggest ship, the Titanic. And he said that even God himself couldn't sink this ship. And so while you were talking, man, I'm seeing. No one else built the ark, but they were inspired to build boats.
They had to afterwards.
Yes, they had to.
They had to.
Because the principle of it worked.
Right.
Now I want to bring us to this. I see people sinking, and they're looking for rafts and everything else that they can float on. But what they got to go back is to what the first word we said: faith.
Wow.
Yes, faith. We need faith to understand the vision. We need faith to work the vision. Right. We need faith to stay in the vision. Now, if people ask me, hey man, are you reaching anybody? How big is your ministry at your church? Listen here, if all you can see is inside of four walls, something's wrong with your vision.
That's very true.
Yeah, because you got preachers who are opening up storefronts. They got old churches, they got new churches. They building all of this stuff. And all they can see is how many people they can fill inside of it. Yeah?
Yeah.
And once the people get inside of it, listen, I'm going to say to all you preachers, I want your preachers to really listen to me real good. Now, if all you want to do is bring people to a building and flock them in there, guess what? All they're going to remember is your name and the name of the building. Now, if you watch this now, if you bring everybody to I Am a Testimony, and all they see is John McClung and the buildings and the instrumentation that you've made, they're not seeing the testimony. Right. You feel what I'm saying? If you're bringing people to the front line as a military man, and all they can see is the brigades and this and that, they're losing the whole point of fighting a war. Am I making any sense, man?
Yeah, you're making plenty of sense.
Okay, so where do we start at when we break the vision? How do we come back? How would you say a person, once they have saw the vision, been distracted from the vision, how do they get back on track with the vision?
Well, you always have to go back to the drawing board. You have to get back down on your knees and ask God to guide you. Ask God to let you see what he's trying to get you to see. The only thing you have to do is just get on your knees and ask, and he'll give it to you.
Okay.
But you have to be willing to accept it.
Right.
And some people sometimes they get caught up in their own ways. Sometimes I think where people get mixed up at, and I'm guilty of that now. I used to be guilty of that.
Right.
We looking at God to give us everything that we want, and the time that He doesn't give it to it, and He gives it to somebody else, we back off. It's like because you figured. Where I earned this, this and that, and they just jumped up and, received it. And I've been praying for 5 years and they happened to me, and you feel that they don't deserve it. When you don't understand, that person may have already did their journey and they learned their test and they was ready for that blessing.
Right.
Sometimes we are asking for things that God knows we're not ready for. It ain't about, I know God can do the impossible, but we have to learn to understand that God gives us what He wants us to have.
Right.
And some of the things that we're asking for is not what he wants us to have.
Right.
So this is why you're going through these testing, because when you ask for these things, be careful because you're going to be tested.
That's right.
And
well,
yeah, that's true.
Well, that leads me to, it says in the scriptures, it said the kingdom of heaven is as of a rich man who has come to give gifts. Right? So if I know that I already had gifts, he said, because I knew you before I formed you in your mother's womb. So he knew what I looked like before when I was in my father's scrotum sacks.
Yeah.
You feeling what I'm saying? Yes. He understood. Well, and I've said this once before, and we talked about this earlier. There was 2 assassination tips on my life. My father was almost hung several times in Mississippi, right? They tried to kill him off his seeds. And I'm saying to my siblings, we have a reason that we're here. We're here not just because of my father, right? We're here because of the vision that God had for us while we were in there.
Right.
And then when he exposed us to our mother's womb, now the second attempt was my mother tried to commit suicide. She was depressed. She was angry. She had a lot of different things. And here the enemy will use these things to just tear us to pieces, right? He's using these things. And here are these 2 assassination attempts on my life. And here I am on a TV show. You feeling what I'm saying? Here I'm sitting with a brother who has written, 4 books?
3.
3 books.
Working on the 4th.
And working on the 4th. Yeah. A retired military man who has fought in wars. Neither one of us should be here. But we are here.
Right.
And what do we do with the time that we have while we're together? I say that we destroy everything that needs to be dismantled. But I also say that we rebuild everything that has been torn to pieces for the wrong reasons. And that we give God I believe that we're all puzzle pieces, my brother.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, I'm shaped different than you're shaped. I talk different than you talk. You sing different than I sing. We do so many different things, right?
Right.
Wow. You got anything you want to add to that, man?
You know, I think one of my favorite mentors is Dr. George Fraser.
Yes.
And he wrote, or he has a saying about connecting the dots.
Yes.
You know, you can have dots spread all over a paper.
I seen that.
You know what I'm saying? That don't connect in any way. And then you can actually begin to draw the lines to connect those dots.
Yes.
And it changes the whole look
perspective.
of it. Yeah, because it gives you that web feel. So if you're looking at that, if you look at the conversation that you're having with us from a standpoint of not supposing to be here, then the dots are starting to be connected.
Wow.
You know, because again, would we actually be sitting here with you?
Yes.
You know, not thinking that.
Right,
you know
right.
You know, in this platform to actually have this type of conversation, because we really don't know our history from a standpoint. We are actually having a conversation based on what has happened in our lives. So each one came from a different direction.
Wow.
You know, so if you're looking at that, we're supposed to be sitting where we're sitting.
Yes.
We're supposed to be having the conversation we're having. We're supposed to be having people watch what we're talking about.
Okay.
And the bottom line is, what we are speaking on is supposed to help somebody.
All right, John Paul, I want you guys, I am blessed and highly favored that you two are sitting here with me. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen, that's our time. And I praise and magnify our Savior, our Master and our Lord, and whatever we want to call him, he will respond. Have an intimate relationship with him. Blessings to you. We'll see you on the next go-round on Serving It Up. I give honor to my guests, Paul and John. Blessings to you. Have a good day.